support and your daily support of the MWBE program. New York City has more than 11,000 certified MWBE firms, and you are as diverse as the people who own them and the high-quality goods, services, and resources you offer. Because of your firms, our policies, this program's history, and its impact, New York City's MWBE program sets the gold standard for our country. 3 decades of MWBE commitment is one way the Department of Small Business Services works to create equity of opportunity for New Yorkers who belong to communities that have been excluded from opportunity for far too long. Through the certification process and programs that range from identifying to financing contracting opportunities to successful contract performance and mentoring, we provide tools that unlock economic opportunity for the MWBEs that help our city get stuff done. Last year, over 73% of the MWBE firms that won city contracts benefited from an SBS procurement and capacity building assistance. We're proud to be part of your success, and we're hungry for more. Last year, we helped serve 90,000 New Yorkers through our Workforce One career centers citywide. And this year, with the full integration of the Jobs NYC initiative into our strategies, we'll do even more hiring for local businesses and continue to reduce unemployment disparities for Black and Latino New Yorkers. Our next speaker, our first speaker, is New York City's first ever Chief Business Diversity Officer and the leader of the Mayor's Office of MWBEs. Since joining the Adams administration in 2023, CBDO Garner has advanced major victories for our city's MWBEs, from increasing the threshold on MWBE small purchase contracts to $1.5 million and leading coordination to ensure agencies strive to achieve MWBE utilization goals. In his prior role at the MTA, CBDO Garner designed the multi-billion-dollar transit agency's small business mentoring program, with participants awarded more than $600 million among many other wins. Now at City Hall, CBDO Garner works tirelessly to increase opportunities for all city-certified MWBEs in every room. It's my pleasure to introduce Chief Business Diversity Officer, Michael Garner.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a very historical day. You know, it reminds me of the baseball movie Field of Dreams. You build it and they'll come.
That's right.
We have built a program under Mayor Eric Adams that's second to none. Mayor Adams is the first mayor in the history of the city of New York to go to Albany, get all of his MWBE bills passed in one session. Unheard of. 5 bills signed off by the governor. And now we are building programming that has led to this moment, to this day. And we're going to preempt our press conference in 2 weeks, announcing under Mayor Adams' leadership, the city of New York, for the first time in history, has exceeded 30% MWBE inclusion citywide. You can clap to that. And the total number of contracts that's been awarded by the 50 different various agencies, and I just want to, first of all, thank the agency commissioners. The New York City DOT commissioner, he always starts his senior meetings off by asking a question to his senior staff. How are we doing with our MWBE numbers? He has increased from 8% when he took office to now 33%. That's leadership. And I want to also recognize two agencies. Last year, they awarded over $1 billion to minority women-owned firms. And that's the New York City Housing Authority, $1.2 billion, and the School Construction Authority, just over $1 billion. For a total dollar amount last year of $6.4 billion awarded to minority and women-owned firms. $6.4 billion. No other city or state in the nation is doing that. But it's being achieved by the Get Stuff Done Adams administration. Let me just thank Commissioner Gross, who is the epitome and reflection of what the mayor had in mind. This is the most diverse administration in the history of the city of New York. And I also want to thank Lisa Flores, Director Flores of MOX, the Mayor's Office of Contract Services, because we work in tandem together and we drive MWBE change here at the City of New York. $6.4 billion last year, $6.3 billion the year before. That's $13.7 billion, almost $14 billion in contract awards to New York City certified MWBEs in the past 2 years. And so also I want to just strongly encourage you to not only meet our key decision makers here at the city, but also to go to the state of New York, where I came from, MWBE conference in 2 weeks. It's next week, because a strong state program equals a strong city program. A strong city program equals a strong state program, because many of you are not only certified by the city, you're also certified by the state. And so this region, we are driving MWBE inclusion like never ever before, and that's due to the focus, laser focus vision of Mayor Eric Adams, because we understand that access to contracts in communities of color who have historically been shut out equals job creation. It also equals home ownership opportunity for the business owners, and better education and better opportunities for your respective families. And this is part of the Get Stuff Done Adams administration. Like I indicated before, no other mayor has gone to Albany and got all of his MWBE bills passed. No other mayor has been responsible for almost $14 billion in contract awards to minority women-owned businesses. No other mayor has been responsible for over $1 billion in contracts being awarded to Black-owned businesses last year, 800 million Hispanic-owned businesses, and over $1 billion to women-owned businesses, all under the Get Stuff Done Adams administration. He told you what he was going to do before he took office, and he has done it. Thank you very much. And in the words of Mayor Eric Adams, now let's go make some money.
I love to hear Michael speak. He nails the top lines, he nails the details, he nails it all. So we're honored to have with us today a man who loves this city, who values small businesses, and who believes and insists that city government must work to tear down barriers for historically underserved communities. He knows more than a thing or two about getting stuff done, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity he has given me to lead the work of the Department of Small Business Services. Welcome to the podium, the 110th Mayor of New York City, Eric Adams.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And it's not about me, it's about we, it's about us. And it's a significant moment for our city. And to all of you small business owners and operators and who want to really pursue the American dream. Sometimes we lose sight on the fact that this is the only country where dream is attached to our name. There's not a German dream, there's not a French dream, there's not a Polish dream, but there's an American dream. And that dream is real and it's alive. And the precursor to sleep that allows you to experience that American dream is your ability to operate in a small business. I think owning property and owning a small business are really the cornerstones of the American dream. And many of you are aspiring to accomplish that task. And I need to say to you, don't believe the bullshit. You know, all that you're reading about this amazing city, this is one of the greatest comebacks in the history of a city. January 1st, 2022, many of you have forgotten, but there was something called COVID. Our offices were closed. No one wanted to go outside. Our children were not going to school. We had a 40% increase in crime. Our children were not learning at the capacity that they deserve. NYC residents didn't have access to high-speed broadband. Foster care children, 600 to 700, were aging out every year, becoming victims of the crimes, inability to find the proper support that they deserve. Earned income tax credit was low. Bond raters did not want to give us the proper bonding. You couldn't even open a business in this city without waiting months just to get some of the basic things you need to get your businesses open. And we had all antiquated laws on the books that were horrific to business owners. And women and minority-owned businesses were not receiving any of the city contracts that were available and capable. Tourism was dismal. No one wanted to be on our subway system. Just think about it. 2 years and 10 months later, you see the high-profile things that can happen in a city of 8.3 million people. 8.3 million people. Yes, we're going to have our crime. Yes, we're going to have our mental health issues. Yes, we're going to have some uncertainties. But 2 years and 10 months later, we have more small businesses operating in the city in the history of the city. Our children are outpacing the state in reading and math. We removed thousands of illegal guns off our street. Do you know crimes on our subway system? Robberies are the lowest in recorded history of New York City. Shootings in August are normally the highest number in August. In August, we had the least number of shootings in the history of New York City. 100,000 young people had summer youth employment. 110 went to Summer Rising to have education all year round. We are invested in foster care children, paying their college tuition, giving them a stipend, and giving them a life coach until they're 21 years old so they can be able to pursue their American dream. Every night your residents have high-speed broadband in this city where they can get medicine, remote learning, and moving forward. Bond raters have increased our bond rating and doubled down on that this year to say this administration is moving us in the right direction. And we diversified the city government. Government looks like you. It looks like this room. First Filipino deputy mayor, first Dominican deputy mayor, first Trinidadian deputy mayor, first woman becoming a police commissioner, first Spanish speaker becoming a police commissioner, first woman to be in charge of intelligence in the police department, first woman a fire commissioner. You look around the city starts to look like you. And we knew the job we had to do. We knew the challenges that we were facing. And then in spite of all of that, 220,000 migrants and asylum seekers came to the city. That took $5.6 billion out of our budget. And we had to navigate it and make sure that no child or family slept on the streets of the city of New York. 170,000 have moved on to the next step of their journey of the American dream, with 64,000 were already in care. We built more and financed more affordable housing in year 1 and year 2 of our administration in the history of the city. move more people out of homeless shelter into permanent housing in 1 year, 2 years in the history of the city. Our children are outpacing the state in reading and math. We went and zeroed in on dyslexia because 30 to 40% of the people on Rikers Island now are dyslexic, and we said we need to prevent that from happening, to go upstream and not downstream. We are kicking ass, and people need to recognize what we have done in the city. And I know there's a lot of haters. I know it. I know that people are looking and say, well, we read the front page and someone had this and someone had that. I got that. My job is to move this city forward. That's what I was elected to do. And from a lifetime of wearing our bulletproof vest, protecting your children and families for 22 years as the mayor of the city, as a police officer, and now the mayor of the city of New York, I'm going to keep doing that. We are going to continue to turn the city around. Why? This is a Pfizer moment. 1849, Pfizer opened their offices here in Brooklyn, New York, in a little red brick building by two relatives. They wanted to lean into how to use medicine and pharmaceutical to improve the lives of people. And they had a cornerstone, a belief of what they wanted to do and what they wanted to inspire their employees to accomplish. Two German immigrants. That's the American story. Not only those of us who came from the South, Alabama, and South Carolina, North Carolina, but those who have come across the globe to come here and participate in this experiment of diversity, different ideas coming together. Understand that in America and in New York, you're not American Polish. You're not American Trinidadian. You're not American African. America says put your culture first and connect it to the common denominator of America. You're Jewish American, Polish American, Chinese American, African American. You take your culture and bring it to this experience, and that's what those two German immigrants did. They came and brought their experience and their diversity to create what was called the company Pfizer back in 1849. And their cornerstones were courage, excellence, equity, and joy. That's what your small business is about. And when I came into the office and saw all of these fines that we were hitting small businesses with, we said, that's unacceptable. Imagine being a dishwasher from Ecuador, saving all your money to open a restaurant, and then you have to wait 13 months just to get someone to come in and inspect your sprinkler system. You're paying your lease every month, $15,000 a month. People used to come to me on the campaign trail in tears, telling me we've lost our life savers because we cannot get the Department of Buildings to come in and inspect our building, or the fire department to come in and inspect our sprinkler system, or someone to give us a CFO and let us open our doors and put people in the seat. That was tragic, and it was a betrayal. And then you walk inside and surprise you with inspections during a time when your operations are open, and if you're a restaurateur or some other food eatery, instead of giving you an appointment when you're coming in so you can make sure that we coordinate with you so you can keep your doors open. We were brutal to businesses in this city. This was the Empire State. We built empires, not destroyed them. That is what we brought in this administration. And so because we allowed Pfizer to start in 1849, what happened during COVID? We were able to get a vaccine. The argument of do you want to take a vaccine or not is not the discussion. The problem is, the point is that because a business was born in Brooklyn, we needed it in 2022 to solve a crisis of global pandemic, that we were able to find those solutions right here in the city of New York, where many of our pharmaceutical solutions are found in this state. That's what Small Business Services is doing. And that is what we're saying to all of you. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. This is New York. This is the greatest city on the globe. And we got to start acting like that again. We got to start walking like we are in New York. We got to start talking like we are in New York. I meet my mans from across the globe, and they argue about number 2 and number 3. Nobody argues about number 1. Number 1 is New York. This is it. This is the greatest place to be. And I tell everybody, there's only 2 types of Americans: those who live in New York and those who wish they could. You're one of the lucky ones. You start and build your business here, it cascades throughout the entire globe. This is where you hone your skills, and we want to make it possible. That is my job as the mayor, to get all the barriers out of the way to allow your business to start in the philosophical red brick building in the Brooklyns of this city and let it grow to become the next Pfizer of this city. That is our goal. Don't have a small vision of just opening some storefront somewhere. Your product must become a global product. Your product must become a product that everyone is talking about. That is what my international affairs is doing. We must bring in those from across the globe, the relationships we're developing with Eastern countries, with Africa, with South and Central America. Your product should be on the shelves in everywhere from Ecuador to China to Poland. We want your product using the social media platforms to be something that people are familiar with across the globe. We're not trying to make you a thousandaire. We want to make you a billionaire. We want you to be an international success. And that is what we're fighting for. And that's what we're doing. Those numbers that Michael Gardner gave you were real. Billions of dollars going into those non-traditional organizations and entities, giving you the expertise through the small business services, partnering you with government, helping you navigate the complexities of doing government. We have such a terrible reputation. No one wanted to do business in New York because New York was too challenging and difficult to do business in. We need to change that. We're not going to change it overnight, but we need to change it. This must become the most business-friendly city and state on the globe. That's our goal. And you come in here today saying you want to participate in that goal. It's not easy in that cause. It's not easy, it's challenging. But we're hoping that you know we got your back. We got your back in a real way. To help you go after those billions of contracts we have in city government. You should be providing those services. We should not be buying our food from Delaware or Wisconsin or other places. We should not be buying our Xerox paper from other places. We should not be doing our constructions from outside entities. These are all of your contracts. You can do it, and we want to make sure you have access to them. I'm excited about what the future is going to hold for us. And it's not easy, but it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be challenging. Because when you complete the task, when you watch that small idea that you came up with in your kitchen table somewhere becomes an international success, you can say you are the person you thought you were, and you're going to live up to that. I know what not easy is. Not easy is being a mother going to Hempstead Daycare Center on her arthritic legs, raising 6 children on her own, never giving up, never surrendering, and telling us everything possible. And watching her little baby boy with his dyslexia go from being dyslexic to being elected to be the mayor of the city of New York. We all can do it. Let's reach our dreams. Let no one take it away from you. Good luck to you, and congratulations to you all.
That was wonderful, and it was wonderful to look around the room and see the faces of MWBEs who I know have already been part of addressing the challenges and contributing to the victories that the mayor spoke about today. So if you are a newly certified firm or you've not yet won your first city contract, I hope that in his remarks, you saw where you might fit in, where you want to make the attempt, where you might contribute. And you also know that all of us in city government, across the agencies, at City Hall, we are here in support of your success. I want to bring our next speaker to the podium. Part of what makes New York City's MWBE program the envy of the nation is that it's administered by highly experienced public servants of unparalleled passion. Lisa Flores is one such leader with over 20 years of experience in New York City government. She oversees Passport, the city's end-to-end procurement platform. She advocates for procurement reform, and she leads in the implementation of MWBE policy and the monitoring of program effectiveness. Welcome to the microphone, New York City's Chief Procurement Officer and the Director of the Mayor's Office of Contract Services, Lisa Flores.
Good morning, and thank you, the Mayor, for leadership and the partnership of Commissioner Gross and Business Diversity Officer Michael Gardner. And welcome today. I don't know if anyone else is hot out there or it's just me because I'm at that certain age, but if I pick up my speech and do this, please forgive me. A special thank you to Commissioner Gross and all of our team at SBS for pulling off once again the largest and the most important procurement fair in all of New York City and all of New York State for us. I'm truly inspired by all the businesses that I see here today and really excited, and you can hear it in the mayor's voice, by the future success that awaits you by contracting with the City of New York, and it starts here today. There has never been a better time to grow your business through a partnership with the City of New York. And I can tell you, of having worked for the city for over 20 years, the city has never been so laser focused and committed to MWBEs and ensuring your success. From day one, Mayor Adams has committed to righting the wrongs of negatively impact our communities, and particularly in procurement, and making New York City the business partner of choice. And with the leadership of Chief Gardner and commitment and expertise of folks like Commissioner Gross and myself and our teams, we'll continue to break records, as Chief Gardner mentioned earlier, and to meet our goal of ensuring that we contract at least $25 billion with MWBEs by 2026 and $60 billion by 2030. Mayor Adams and this administration values New York City small businesses because we know that you drive New York City's economy, especially those MWBEs who represent the vibrant fabric of the culture of New York City and support often those most vulnerable in our communities. At the Mayor's Office of Contract Services, our focus has been creating a more equitable procurement system and breaking down those barriers that have been built up for multiple years and sometimes on purpose to keep you. And we've been focusing that on people, procurement reform, and technology. Because by fostering that environment where diversity and inclusion are at the forefront, we're committed to ensuring that every voice is heard and that every business has a chance to thrive. As Chief Gardner mentioned, we have had big wins on the legislative front, not only increasing the MWBE small purchase threshold to 1.5 million, getting authority to create the first ever citywide mentorship program, and a slew of changes to cut through the procurement red tape. We've also been focusing on how we leverage technology like Passport, the city's procure-to-pay contracting system, to increase equitable access to contracting opportunities. And if you want to be a New York City MWBE certified in New York City, if you want to do business with us, you have to be registered in Passport to do business with us. But we want to make sure that we're not only ensuring that you know how to register in Passport, we want to make sure that you have a leg up and that you learn all the tips and tricks to find the right contracting opportunities so that you don't waste your time, and that you have all the tools you need to be successful in winning those bids and the contracting opportunities that will help you grow your business. And that's why Mox has been offering training now and getting started, our webinar series, and also our in-person workshops with Mox in your neighborhood. We've trained over 8,000 people so far, and you can see by the size of this room, we have a lot more to train because we want to make sure that we are leveling the playing field. Having information is key to making sure that you can be successful against those big companies who have a whole group of people who they pay to do nothing else but look for bids and write bids and win. And it also means important for us to keep you informed of all the new things we're doing, again, so that you have equal access. And if you haven't heard already, we just recently rolled out in Mox New Passport our new subcontracting functionality. This is aimed at creating a transparent and accountable subcontractor approval process that tracks when primes pay MWBEs, so you can see when they're supposedly going to pay you and get paid on time, and also track our progress and keep us accountable as a city towards our MWBE goals, so that we can not only beat our previous goals, as Chief Gardner mentioned, but increase our goals beyond what we can ever dream of. Because the city is all in when it comes to ensuring that you succeed. And today, at this year's SBS MWBE Procurement Fair, we're going to continue our efforts to tackle the persistent issue of equity within New York City's procurement system. Each of you will have an opportunity to network and connect with the right people who can connect you to the right opportunities for your business. So I want to make sure, first you fan yourself off because it's still hot in here, and that you stop by the Mox table, that you soak in all the great information that Commissioner Gross and her team put together with all of the workshops here today, and that you have your elevator pitch down. So when you meet those New York City agencies, they are here to connect you to the right opportunities, and we want to make sure that we are looking forward to doing business with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Flores. City contracts can be transformative. The businesses that receive them often grow, creating wealth for their families and the New Yorkers they employ, leaving a lasting positive impact on neighborhoods and the entire city. You don't have to take my word for it. Today we have Samuel Padilla joining us as our MWBE success story. Samuel is an amazing example of the entrepreneurial spirit that thrives in New York City and is supercharged by the MWBE program. Samuel got his start at American Electric Power in 1974 and advanced from an entry-level position to a structural engineering role before he was recruited by Con Edison, where his career took off even further. In 1993, Samuel founded Padilla Construction Services, which has since become one of New York's most recognized minority prime general contractors, employing more than 250 full-time, experienced union personnel. Samuel's company has been awarded prime contracts with the city's Departments of Design and Construction and the Department of Parks and Recreation. So when thinking of what city contracting can do for you and your firm, think of Samuel. He's a mentor in our MWBE capacity building program and an advocate for Latino entrepreneurs across the nation. Please join me in welcoming the president of Padilla Construction Services Incorporated, Samuel Padilla.
Thank you so much, Mayor. That's why we are where we are today. It's your leadership that takes us there. We really appreciate it. Michael, I call him Michael because Michael is. I call Michael, but again, he's the Chief Diversity Officer of the City of New York, and he's gotten there for a lot of hard work. He's gotten us through the SCA, which is where I had my significant start. And he was the person involved in that process. And Commissioner Carter, thank you so much. In any event, here I am. Samuel Padilla. I was born in Brooklyn. I went to City College of New York. I became an engineer there. And from there, as they mentioned, I went into Con Edison, American Electric Power, and Con Edison. I saw an opportunity. That's the important thing, recognizing an opportunity that I could provide a service to construction companies that I was dealing with at Con Edison that we had hired and we were dealing with, and I could provide a service of getting the utilities out of their way, and at least so they wouldn't impact their productivity. And doing that, I started Padilla Construction Services. My intent, and my business plan, which you should all have, was to grow in the construction service business. However, I looked and kept an eye on opportunities and realized that I could also do the work that I was working to help contractors do. So I went into construction. Now, I went with the Parks Department of the City of New York as my first contract. And I was given that contract because I had partnered, and that's important, partner. I had partnered with a company known as Enco Construction. Enco was, the person that owned it, was my former boss at American Electric Power. And he said, Sam, you have an MWBE, because I was certified under Mayor Dinkins' administration in 1993. It was because of Dinkins that I took the step, because he opened the doors to say, listen, we have an opportunity, we have a percentage of work that's going to be given or not given, earned by the MWB community. So I said, this is my shot. And I did it in 93, again, because of the honorable Mayor David Dinkins. And then doing that, I went to the Parks Department, and that's up to the mayor. And doing that, I got a job working with Enco Construction at Parks, and I learned the Park Department. It was a small job. In that small job, we did a joint venture. Now, we both brought something to the table. We had to get a bond, we had to get insurance. He had a working company, and that assisted me, because they checked my financials and they were willing to bond me or bond the joint venture. Small job, and from there we got larger jobs, and I got my own jobs. From there I went and worked at the DDC, because now I was a certified construction company with bonding, limited bonding, and I started to do work as a subcontractor for the DDC, for contractors that were working as bonders. And I developed a relationship there. Relationship building is everything, because they knew they could depend on me, and I knew I could depend on them to get paid. Now, that being said, from there, I went to the SCA. I wanted to join their mentor program, graduate mentor program, a mentor program. It took me a year to get into the SCA, but that was a major leap for us, because at that point, I was going in as a general contractor, doing smaller jobs, and I was into the mentor and graduate mentor program. I learned about the SCA, and there I graduated from smaller jobs to larger jobs, to the point now that today I'm one of the large EQE, I should say, larger contractors that are a minority and that build and are certified to build schools for them. I haven't done that yet. I've just done extensions, only because freestanding extensions, you have to take it one step at a time. But the most important thing I can say for you is that you have to build relationships. You have to really walk before you run, crawl before you walk. Small jobs that you can handle will help build your business. They're two jobs, they'll collapse you. And you have to be able to have the necessary financing and guarantees that you're going to get paid from your primes. So it's better that you know your primes, that you have a relationship with your primes, so that they understand that you have to get paid first, only because the cash flow, lack of cash flow, is what will stop your business. And you have to have the necessary financing to take on a job, and not to take on a job that's too large and bigger than you know, and let's put it this way, you know when a job is too large and you're going to take that risk. Evaluate that risk carefully, because that job could actually put you under. So make sure you take jobs that are something that you can manage, something that you can finance, because again, finance is everything. If you don't have the funds to carry that job for at least 6 months or a year, you're going to have a problem if you don't have the right stuff. So what I tell you is establish relationships with the people that are in here, the agencies that are in here. Let them get to know you. Let them get to understand your business plan and understand that you're here to help them. Again, you're here to help them because they need a certified minority business, black and brown and women business, to fulfill the goals that are set before them because of the mayor and because of Michael Gardner and their team, that they have a responsibility to the city to comply with that. And you are the vehicle to help them comply with that. So they need you a lot more than you need them. But again, they want to have a trusted partner. If you can establish a relationship with a trusted partner that trusts you to do the job, you have a path for growth. There's no question about it. But you have to go after it. I'll say one more thing. The city now has non-competitive contracts out there that we fought for in Albany, that the agencies are able to award obviously at the right price, but you have to start knocking on doors. Don't make opportunities for yourself, because a lot of these agencies can award you contracts for the services and goods you provide if you go and seek them. If you go to the agencies and talk to the procurement people and go after them. And that's only because of what the work that was done, that has been done by the mayor and Michael Gardner, and going out and all the people that support him. But these things are important, so these opportunities are out there if you go out and knock on the doors. All I can tell you is I know growing a business is very difficult. But you know what? When it starts to work, it just kind of steamrolls. Before you know it, you go from 10 people to 50 people to 100 people to 200 people. Then you become the person that, as I always say, my job is keeping people employed now because I know their families. I know their That said, if there are any questions, I'll be pleased to speak to you later. And again, Mayor Adams, we're on this.
Thank you, Sam. I love watching the room as you speak. Great. I love watching the room as Samuel Padilla, who's again one of our mentors in our program, speaks, and all the nodding that happens, all the recognition. Samuel talked about his path through contracting, but also many of the factors in his contracting success. Those are factors that are represented in services that are available to you today. So I want to give you a kind of guide to how you can spend the rest of your time here at the procurement fair today. Shirley Chisholm said way back in 1972, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Well, you all have a chair, right? You know that you have a seat at this table. You've heard it from the mayor. You've heard it from CVDO Garner. You've heard the experience of Sam Padilla, the support of Director Flores and myself. You have a seat at the table for success for the City of New York and for your business and for the future of this program. In partnership with CUNY, SBS has begun conducting the city's next disparity study. This is a critical piece of research that provides a foundation for the continuation of this program. The goal is to analyze contracting trends and the experiences of MWBE firms in city procurement. So as part of that study, we want to hear directly from you through a survey and learn about your experiences in working to contract with the city. So today you can stop by the disparity study exhibitor table. It's next to the photo booth. And please don't forget also to join our workshops to hear about best practices, upcoming opportunities, as you also experience the agencies that are tabling in the Great Hall. The first workshops will be on selling to government and Passport, and working with the New York City Public Schools and the School Construction Authority. They will commence today at 11:30 in workshop rooms A and B, and there will be subsequent workshops throughout the course of the day. If you have any questions about the rest of the event or want to determine which agencies you should invest time in building a relationship with at the tables in the Great Hall, take a few moments to review this booklet and the floor map in the bag you received as you entered, or you can ask one of the volunteers in the blue t-shirts who are throughout the event. Those are more than 90 SBS staff members who arrived as early as 7:30 a.m. today, and many were on site yesterday as well to set up this beautiful venue. So if you don't mind, Commissioners of Privilege, please give a round of applause to the SBS staff. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for your partnership, your ambition, and for being here with us today. Now let's keep getting stuff done for you and the New York City. Thank you. My apologies. I want to acknowledge that Jason Clark from Empire State Development is in the room. CVDO Garner mentioned their upcoming event in Albany next week. So Jason, thank you for joining us here today.